about me and baby Groot contemplating my reality and steps forward that we're gonna take. I'm Groot. Because I've just been dealing with so much chronic fatigue. Can I get comfortable and not be in pain to do this video? That's the question. I normally only come on here when I'm not in chronic pain, but I figured lately I would be a voice and an advocate for those dealing with chronic pain that feel trapped and don't have support. And it all has to do with building heaven on earth. Community. You see, the modern world shows us that when we get hurt or injured, that we are really just debt slaves. And being a debt slave, if you can't afford to work, you can't afford to eat. I've been struggling to get my basic needs met for about 3 solid years now. After my work injury at Amazon. I have applied for disability. They said it could take up to 2 weeks and it's a 50-50. Okay. But let's just say that the system has forsaken us. And the system was never meant to help us, and it was all an illusion. And it was all a lie from the very beginning. And there is no help coming my way from the state. Then me and baby Groot are gonna have to find a new path to forge for survival, because the way that we've been going for the last 3 years just isn't working. We're gonna have to find community. We're gonna have to find ecological, sustainable villages to live in, because only in these ecological, sustainable villages can you work, 3 to 5 hours a day and have all your basic needs met. I feel like if we went their little group, we would actually be able to heal, because these places are all organic. They're based in nature. A lot of the people on those places will Groot. I am Groot. Yeah, the yoga, the tai chi, the qigong, the barefooting. They're holistic. They know about the natural healing, and they build that into their days, don't they, little Groot? I am Groot. Doesn't seem like the medical system really is too keen on really helping us, unless they're trying to help themselves, sell us a drug, or give us surgery. Ain't that right, little Groot? Because it's all based on profit, not on actually healing us, but just keeping us a lifelong customer. Ain't that right, little Groot? Fuck them. Oh, I've never heard you say anything else besides I am Groot. Oh, wow. Community is priceless, isn't it, little guy? I am Groot. I am Groot. So going to a public school and sit in a chair for 8 hours for 12 years, wearing shoes that destroys our entire geometry of our body. Tell us more. I am Groot. Well, the soles of our feet are our physical foundation. And if we're not using those muscles and we're not planting our feet into the ground and really building our root system, then how are we creating the foundation of health when we're sitting in a chair, little Groot? We're not. It's fucking backwards. Ass backwards. I agree. So they destroy our bodies by sitting us in chairs, and then they want us to go get these jobs and have us sit longer, or then go do physical labor when our body's already weak and was never developed properly, so then we get easily injured. I am Groot. It's ass backwards. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose, or they're just absolutely insane. I am Groot. Makes sense. What did we do yesterday, little Groot? We did day one of speaking heaven onto earth. Oh my gosh, you can say more than I'm Groot. I am Groot. Yeah. Oh. Have I been living on hell on earth for a while, little Groot? You have. Fucking get over it, homie. Let's build heaven on earth. Damn, that was harsh, little guy. I'm doing my best. Yeah, so lately I've just had the urge to kind of just sleep all day. I haven't slept all day, but my body, like right now, it severely needs rest, and I just can't bring myself to give myself the rest that I need, because I slept a good 8 hours, and I feel like if we don't talk about the issues that I've been through, there's no way that I'm going to be able to help other people that are going to run into the same issues. And the world's never been more divided. There's never been more homeless people that have been working full time. And over the last 3 months, I've been finding, flexible work that I could do, but I had been dealing with a lot of people taking advantage of me. I'd never had anybody take advantage of me when I was strong and willed, but now that I'm in a situation of being injured, people, like, it's been back to back that people have been taking advantage of me, trying not to pay me and stuff, and I've had some of the most darkest thoughts that I've ever had in my life, of vengeance, getting even but going further. And glad I didn't go through with it. Because it makes me think that if I would have been injured at all my other jobs and weak, and they thought that they could take advantage of me, how many places most of the jobs that I work at, they all take advantage of us. I mean, they barely pay us enough to survive, so I guess it shouldn't really come as a surprise, should it, little Groot? Meow. Meow. Exploitation is opportunistic. You're right. You're right, little guy. So now that we see the reality of things and we see the reality of how the system is based upon exploitation, and our body can barely do anything after we were left for dead by these corporations and companies and for-profit entities, which I don't think there's anything wrong with being for profit, little guy, but to use people and to abuse people and to just use them as life force vitality to build what you want. I think what we've been realizing is people really just put on a mask to get what they want. And then we think that they really care about us, but they never really did. They just saw us as a number and as an asset. That's right. Well, that's not the type of people that I want to work for. You shouldn't work for them at all. I agree. Let's drink some water, little Groot, because we do want to try to get out of bed today. We didn't get out of bed at all the last couple of days, man. It's we had breakfast. That's right. I am Groot. Oh yeah. We did about 2 hours of pranayama today. We got rid of a lot of pain, didn't it? Yeah. But for some reason now we're just tired. It takes a lot of energy to do pranayama. I think a lot of this is spiritual. I feel like constantly getting let down by employers. I think that's causing a lot of our issue. Employers, the system, doesn't really seem like it has our best interest in mind, does it, Groot? No, I don't know. You think anybody else feels like that? I don't know. Sometimes
When people are employees at one place for a really long time, they think that the employers really care about them until they look at their profits. But then when they get injured, they realize that they're easily forgotten and their claims will be denied. And they realize the mask was always just for usury.
I guess that makes sense, little Groot. I guess when capitalism changes and everybody's just the businesses aren't at such scale and the profits aren't so high and wages aren't so low, maybe people will actually start to believe that they're valued and that they'll actually be taken care of when they're older. I think that everybody's realizing that this is the illusion is up and they gotta join intentional businesses intentional businesses that pay them for their equal pay of what they actually put into the business instead of just having everybody else at the bottom do all the work. That's what we need, man. We need to find a company that wants to do a startup that values our skills and values what we can bring to the table. So instead of making like 20 or 30 bucks an hour, we can make 100, 200, 500 bucks an hour, because it looks like little Groot that nowadays we can only work like 5 to 10 hours a week with our injury. So I guess that's our only option, is we have to learn how to use our brain and refuse to be used for our labor.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I am Groot.
Are we gonna do a day 2 of speaking into existence, heaven on earth? What we want our ideal life to look like and the ideal people around us to look and feel like, so we can be full and fulfilled mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially.
Yay! I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Okay, well, Groot let y'all know. Tune in. Be doing that later today, and as of now, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little nap. And anytime you're in here, make sure you drop a comment. Let me know who you are, where you're from, how your day's going, and why you stick around, and why you watch the channel. And me and Groot are gonna go take a nap.
I am Groot.
So one thing I'm gonna start uploading is how other people work out with chronic fatigue and chronic pain. It's been about 3 years, so any workout that I've done since 2 years, I've been doing in and amongst having chronic pain. And I feel like if I didn't do any of these workouts, I would have been a lot worse off. I would have lost I lost a lot of muscle mass, but I feel like I would have been a lot worse off. So I feel like I've been doing the right thing, doing some workouts, and I don't really post my Tai Chi, my Qigong, my Pranayama, my Bastrika, and everything else, but I should start doing that. But it takes so much focus because I do that when I'm in pain. When I'm actually doing a workout and I record it and I put it up, I've gotten through the pain, and then I'm there to post a workout. But I think, since this channel is mostly headed towards like a healing, anti-aging arts channel, I really need to start posting those videos to show what they are and how they work for me. So I'll be working on doing that some more. I do have an exciting workout video that I want to post the next time I'm able to, and I was able to do a workout 2 days ago. I rode the Sherman L electric unicycle while using the boxing gloves, the 5-pound fluid boxers, and did about an hour of riding on the Sherman L, which takes a lot of balance. And then, so I would punch for an hour straight while riding the electric unicycle. No, not an hour straight, a minute straight. And then I would do 10 minutes of rest. And then I did another minute. So I did about a 6-minute workout with the punching in the shoulders, which I have a lot of shoulder pain. That's where a majority of my pain comes from. After we were building those 300-pound racks at Amazon 2 years ago, and we fell back on the right shoulder. Just completely destroyed my ligaments, tendons, and joints. Created myofascia adhesions throughout my entire body. And so if you're having any muscle pain or any flexibility issues or anything like that, I've been posting a lot about how to heal the body and how to heal the fascia and the power of sunlight. We just uploaded a video last night on that. That has actually really been helping me with my chronic pain. If you get enough sunlight and you do it right, you can actually create stronger painkillers in your body naturally than morphine. I combine that with the I call it pranayama, pranic holotropic ecstasy breathing, because you can create natural drugs in your body. And I can only imagine, if I would have known this before my injury, how fucking good I would have been feeling in my life before this all happened. So I highly recommend. Scrolling down through the shorts, you're gonna find an Indian guy. He's got his shirt off, and he's like, talks about how there's all these drugs out there and that you can create them naturally just through breathing alone. And it's true. It's absolutely true. I've been doing it for 2 years now to battle my chronic pain. So we'll continue to post all the natural healing stuff that I find, and I'll try to do more of me doing them. But if I don't have the time or the energy to record it myself, I'll just, when I'm laying in bed, I'm going to upload it. But I do all these things throughout the day to manage my pain and create energy in my body. And I feel like I am slowly getting stronger. I do believe. And I believe it's possible that one day we could take out the water of the boxing gloves and put in steel sand, and that I could work up to doing 10 minutes of straight punching with, I figured out the measurements to water ratio to steel sand. It'd be about 17 to 20 pounds on each. So, but I'm only gonna stick with the 5 pounds for now. Once every week with the Tai Chi, the Qigong, the Pranayama, as a lot of people think are like old people workouts, but all of these bodybuilders, just posted one of the professional bodybuilders who was talking about sunlight, but they're all getting into fascia movements because we're starting to realize that, and I didn't really work out at the gym ever, like a regular workout, but it was the job, the repetitive movements that destroyed my body. The workout that I did was like being at a gym and building. Imagine going to the gym, taking 50 to 80 pound pieces and building a 300-pound rack every 7 minutes for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's totally too much working out and not enough recovery. So it was impossible for my body to not slowly just disintegrate. Top level athletes don't work out at the gym for 8 hours straight, 5 days a week. So it's no wonder my body got destroyed. And we were swinging the 50-pound sword no problem, but we were doing that for maybe like 30 minutes a day. And we got up after 2 years to swinging the 50-pound sword, and it just shows that anybody can do that. It's really nothing too impressive. And it was a humbling experience getting injured on the job. It was a humbling experience living in America and realizing that America really don't got your back. That all the taxes that I ever paid in, that I never consented to paying, that the libertarians would call taxation as theft because, you never consented to it. Realizing that it all kind of just feels like a lie now. So, what do? How do you cope? You don't give up. I've watched so many videos of people on the internet that have completely couldn't walk for like years, and then they can walk again because they do these things. And I'm walking again. I can't get out of bed every day, but I'm gonna run again. I swear, I promise to myself. I ran 2 months ago. I did so much pranayama and created so many painkillers that I was able to run for like a mile, but then I couldn't get out of bed for a week. So I just realized that when you're doing holotropic breathing and you're creating natural ecstasy and painkillers, that it's not smart. So now I've been like learning like how much breathing to do, and like how much of that is just, oh, I'm lubricating the joints and they feel better, versus I'm just getting high as shit off of my breath. I am Groot. One thing that would really help me if I found some hot springs. I feel like if I laid in some hot springs every single day that had minerals in it, it's just a deep gut feeling that this would deeply help me. Deeply help me. Oh. We watch all these animes like where people just get the fucking shit knocked out of them and they keep going. And so a big helper for me lately has been watching like Baki. Started watching Baki again. You see whether that's realistic or not, but when you see it in your mind's eye, it's given me the strength to keep going. You know, it might be delusional, it's working. I don't think anybody could really battle a gorilla like Baki does in his movie. Also, another scene that I replay often is The Reverend with Leonardo DiCaprio when he gets mauled by a grizzly bear and he just crawls around and somehow he walks again. He's out in the wilderness for like 3 years after he gets mauled by a bear and he's just crawling around and just eating grass until he survives. And I'll replay that scene of that movie to distill strength within me. To keep going.
I am Groot.
Yeah. I was watching a video today. I'll probably upload it. And it talks about how we actually did evolve. We're really closely related to chimpanzees, but I realized a fact that we're all drugged up on caffeine, and that's not natural. Never in the history, 99.9% of the ancestry of humanity has, for maybe like only 0.01%, have we been drugged up on caffeine. Like, we are more closely related to chimpanzees, and chimpanzees really only walk and move around like 3 hours a day, and they just spend their time chewing and sleeping and resting. And that's what a majority of our ancestors did, who were hunters and gatherers. That's how we were biologically designed, was we walked a lot. There was some aggressive battling that happened, you know, for hunting. You know, you'd carry stones, chop wood, but we weren't working 8 hours a day. Like, our bodies weren't working. And he goes in between the severities of different parts of work. Like, a lot of people are just sitting on their asses all day, or they're overworking their body all day at a manual labor job. Jobs that won't allow you to rest otherwise. You know, most people just suck it up and they just become used to their pain until it destroys them, and they'll take caffeine, which is a natural painkiller, and they'll just be slowly damaging their body. And it's not natural. Went over how this artificial light messes with our circadian rhythms, how we need sunlight morning, afternoon, and night to create more than just vitamin D. Like, there's no supplement that can actually give our bodies exactly what they need to be strong and hormonally solid. We grew and adapted and lived in nature, and trying to not live that way is just slowly deteriorating our lives. And how many men are on androgynous testosterone? All these fitness influencers that are shown to us are literally injecting huge amounts of steroids. That's a thought. I probably could have worked at that Amazon factory building 300-pound racks every 7 minutes, building one, pushing it 500 feet across the giant warehouse 8 hours a day if I was on some fucking steroids. I did some research and steroids greatly increases your recovery of your body. Maybe I should just take some steroids and maybe I'll be able to get better. I'm considering it. If I can get some anabolic steroids and I start taking those, but I heard those are bad for your heart. I'm not doing a lot of walking and stuff, so I don't think that would be good. There's just too many side effects, so I don't think that taking steroids when you're already injured would be a very good idea. It's not a good idea when you're physically active for a lot of people, so I should probably just discard that idea. But
Groot.
when you're young, none of this stuff ever registers as reality. When you're young, when your body feels good. And none of us want to face other people that are going through this, because then it reminds us of our own mortality. So a lot of people that aren't going through things and can't relate aren't really going to want to listen to this type of thing. But I think that the opposite should be done, because eventually at some point in life this will happen to people where they can't do things, and maybe that'll be at age 90. Maybe it'll just work out the way that it's intended to work out, you know. Maybe nothing bad will happen. You won't get injured on a job. But the reality is this: all the things that I've been doing on here to heal, I can only imagine how strong I would have been. I guarantee that if I would have known the things that I know now, we would have swung that 50-pound barbell 1,000 swings already before the injury. I don't know if that'll ever be possible now, because the actual physical damage that's been done to the body since working at the factory and not having adequate rest and recovery because of having to go in every day and the constant hours is grueling. But compassion and appreciation for manual laborers. No manual laborer should be getting paid less than $50 an hour. and then say they're working 60 hours, they should be getting, instead of 25, $50 an hour, working 30 hours instead of 60. You go into work, but there's free Tai Chi, Qigong, Pranayama, and Bastrika, and all these anti-aging arts. It's an 8-hour shift, but you're only working 4 hours a day. So that way your body doesn't deteriorate. But companies keep doing that because they know that they can get away with paying out pathetic payouts, because they can take advantage of the worker that doesn't have enough money saved up for a good lawyer, because the whole system takes everything that they make and there's nothing left to spare. Oh, on the topic of building community and eco villages, I keep seeing these videos of people saying that they regret having kids. How toxic is a society and a reality where people regret having children? I know my mother regretted having children when they human trafficked me from her because she grew weed. And they put her in prison and they human trafficked me from her and adopted me and changed my name. I can understand why my mother regretted it. But for the average person to regret having children, yeah, the government did that, by the way. So it should be no surprise to anybody with how they treat, how ICE treats children. Yeah, the government does that to their own people. Nancy Schaefer, the Georgia state senator, was murdered in cold blood for exposing that our government is responsible for being the largest child trafficking ring and human trafficking children away from parents, and putting parents in jail for non-violent, victimless crimes. What do you think happens to those kids? Well, they get cycled into the system, they get beat, raped, and drugged on 20 plus different pharmaceutical drugs because it's tied in with the pharmaceutical cartels. Make a shit ton of fucking money off of the trauma of the children. But it shouldn't surprise anybody. It's like, our country's kind of like Del Flamingo's country. So I don't know if anyone's ever watched One Piece, but Del Flamingo, all the stuff is kind of hush-hush in the Empire of what the Empire does to its own people, and all the people suffering under its own empire. I never made it through the whole One Piece series, but Del Flamingo, if you go back to where Luffy shows up in that empire, that there's so much shit going on, but everybody just wears a smile. But deep beneath, there's a spiritual sickness, and there's a lot of shit that's being done to the people in that empire by their government. I really see Doflamingo's empire, the similarities to the American Empire. To me, there's a lot of similarities there from the One Piece. I can really see that. Oh, oh. Anyway, me and little Groot, we're gonna break out the I was gonna go to the this church. Guy keeps calling me, but I just realized that, it's dogma, and I can't get trapped in dogma. And I keep wanting to go back to church because of the community, and I learned it's the church that believes that Jesus was once Archangel Michael, and the Sabbath day is on a Saturday. But at the end of the day, to me, it's just an outdated belief system. But I do have here, these help me out. These are called Angels of Abundance. No, not Archangel, just Angels of Abundance cards. And they really help to reshape and restructure the mind towards positivity and abundance. So we're gonna read from these. Oh my god. Literally doing anything fucking hurts. Throw the shit on the floor. You should see my floor right now. It looks like my van just looks like there's so much trash on the floor. It's always like that 2, 3, or 4 days after I do a workout, because I just don't have the energy to do anything or clean anything. Okay, let's move this slide over here so we can read these. Alright, so the first card we have is this is hard for me. Have courage to ask for and accept help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, as is accepting it as it is offered to you. Very often when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through other people. Be sure to accept this assistance as well as give it to others as you're guided. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be surrounding myself with help if I can help it. I'm going to be moving to an ecological village if I can help it, because in ecological villages I'm having help with my food and being in a place that I can constantly being surrounded by nature when I don't have a lot of money to buy property. Oh my god, I'm so tired, y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. We're just gonna do 3, and then I'm gonna go take a nap. Alright. Conscious consumer. You have the power to heal and help the world with your decision to buy only products and services that are ethical and environmentally friendly. As a conscious consumer, you choose to invest in fair trade and organic goods. You live simply, and you purchase only what you need. Well, I'm broke as hell, so I guess that It's not hard to be a conscious consumer.
I am Groot.
Living at the eco village will allow me to be more conscious with my life force vitality, to work less, to need more, to need less. Sorry, work less and need less. And it will put me into a place of being conscious and to buy things that I will only use. So being injured has made me unable to work and unable to really be a consumer. So yeah, I think my brain's not really working too good. I need some sleep, but there we go. Cooperation instead of competition. What's yours is yours, and no one could take it from you. There's no need to compete, and there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. That's the key with cooperative partnerships. Which brings me back to the eco villages. How many of us can afford to have our own sauna, cryotherapy, red light therapy, compression boots, all these things by ourselves? But in an ecological community, we can have that, all those, and we can share them. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of right now because I'm in pain. Anyway, I'm gonna head to bed, y'all. I thought I was gonna wake up today and try to do some stuff, but that's the thing with dealing with chronic fatigue and chronic pain. Some days things just don't go as planned. You just have to listen to your body. Take care of yourself. Eat right. Have self-respect. Don't put yourself in work environments where you could get hurt. Don't think, oh, well, it won't happen to me. Be reasonable, be rational. If you're at a place where you're doing a lot of heavy lifting and they would fire you if you needed to take like a day off or 2 days off, or if they couldn't help you with your injuries, then it's time to quit. Find something new. And take it from me, take it from somebody that, you know, has been studying physical science and healing for thousands of hours now. Probably at least hundreds of hours. I've had to have put in hundreds of hours by now trying to figure out about physical science, it seems like. So don't settle for less, and always go for more, and you can help more people when you go for more. So if you're in a position where you're strong and healthy, help as many people as you can. The more value we provide for others, the more abundance comes back to us. it's nap time. Watch out for me and Groot's next manifestation for creating spoken. What do we call it? The spoken imaging imagination of creating heaven on earth. Keep tuned for other healing modalities that I'll be posting and other fun workouts that I'll eventually want to try out on some better. May your days be filled with absolute vitality, joy, and love. I must sleep now. It's making me irritable to even speak.